Hi everyone, it is Lucas, and I am obviously back from Honduras, and I'm starting to put together some video for you so that you can understand what exactly it was like where the mission team I was served in Honduras, and what exactly we did down there. And I'm going to break it into two parts, and I want to be pretty thorough because for all of you that did so much to contribute, I really want you to feel like you were a part of what happened down there, because you were. Whether you actually go and serve on mission trips or not, which frankly this is only the second time I've done it, if you're supporting someone who is, you're part of the call to show Jesus' love to the poor. So I'm going to try to be pretty thorough on this without going overboard. Again, I've split this into two parts. This first video is going to be giving you some background information on where we were, who we were working with, and what was going on down there. And in the second part, I'll be a little more specific about what I encountered. So, courtesy of Google Earth, I'm really going to begin at the beginning so you can have a real visual about where we were. Obviously, started off in East Peoria. And the first night before we had the major journey, we did travel on down to St. Louis, Missouri, where we spent the night in wonderfully beautiful conditions of a Ramada in there. We survived it, but it was not luxury living, to say the least. So we got up incredibly early at 3 a.m. in the morning in St. Louis to prepare for our journey all the way to Honduras, and journeyed out to the airport. And from there we headed down to Miami, Florida. Had several hours of layover, managed to take in a quick lunch, and pretty much from there we were not on familiar territory anymore, as our flight took us to San Pedro Sula. Now, if you're not familiar with San Pedro Sula, which I was not prior to this journey, this is a pretty major city. We're talking about a city of about 1 million people. Try to give you some perspective on that there. Along with Tegucigalpa, the capital of Honduras, this is one of the two most significant cities. And while we did spend some time there on our way back, we were only there briefly initially, because we headed on to our next destination, which involved about 4+ hours of driving all the way across the country to La Esperanza. And this is where we did most of our mission work and our time there. La Esperanza is a city of about 20,000. It's actually a twin city with another city right next door. And it's not a rich city by any means, but it is a city of some significance because it's kind of like the equivalent of a county seat there. So while poor by U.S. standards, there are some things happening there as people come by. Now, we were actually stationed a few miles away at Mercy International's base camp, and I believe the name of the town is Yamaguilera, which is much, much smaller. And to give you some perspective as to where we were in the country, I'm going to zoom out here a little. And you can see we're actually right almost on the border there to El Salvador, and zooming out just a bit more so you can maybe get some perspective with all of Central America and Cuba. So that should give you a pretty good feel for where we were. We were really kind of out there. It felt very far from civilization. Mercy International is where we stayed. They had a very nice base camp nestled there in the hills or mountains, however you want to refer to them. Simple living by our standards, but they took excellent care of us with a wonderful staff that they have there. They've got quite a team of people working at Mercy International, a combination of Americans and Hondurans. They have skills from ministry to construction, translators, cooks, a little bit of everything. Mercy's led by Henry Lohman, and they believe in showing the love of Jesus to the poor of Honduras, and always trying to find sustainable ways to help them. So that means programs such as homes, as education, and as finding ways to give them opportunities to earn money through a skill or trade. They've even been involved in paying a fair price for coffee for the Indians that live in the mountains nearby. Mercy touches life in many, many parts of La Esperanza, and I can't say enough good things about them. So specifically, to give you even more context, every day we would drive through La Esperanza, through winding streets, and we would end up in a place that was called the Invasion. and probably here we would just refer to it as the slums. And here you can start to see some pictures of the invasion. My understanding is that when Hurricane Mitch came through back in the late 90s, it flooded certain parts of the area so badly that some people were essentially made refugees and moved into this area. And they did so under very harsh conditions because no water, no power. Now you will see a water tower that has recently gone up, and currently each property has a water spigot, just one on each property. Power lines that you see there are not effective yet, and even when they are up, it'll be very simple. And we're talking about these people have lived here for close to 10 years in many cases, in some cases even more. The children, the people there, you'll see through these pictures, you'll see both sides of it. You see hope, you see the kids wanting to play and have fun, and they're wonderful. And at other times, the harshness of it really does set in. You'll see both things in the faces in these pictures. They have been living under extremely hard conditions for many years now. And I think the wonderful thing about what Mercy does is they've stayed there for all these years and gotten to really know the people and love the people, and have really worked with the people. In fact, there's even a local government in the community that helps to govern and establish who receives houses next in terms of these house building projects, which is what we're a part of. So again, I'll talk more specifics in the second video. And now that you've got the context, I want to really let you know more about what we specifically did in our time in Honduras.